Alrighty, so I got back from Canada a couple days ago now, and while I was in Canada, I bought a decent amount of stationery. Now that might seem odd because Canada is not exactly known for their stationery, and I'll acknowledge that I did not buy any Canadian-made stationery in Canada. But nonetheless, I went to a couple stores that had a better stationery selection than not. And they had some stationery, some pens, some pencils, a notebook, maybe an eraser or two that are not available widely in the United States unless you want to order stuff online. And since this place's prices were so cheap, I went ahead and purchased a bit more than necessary, in all honesty. I spent about $20 on pens and pencils and about, I want to say, $25 overall on just everything, including the notebook that I purchased as well. And today I figured I would give you guys a full tour of my $25 stationery haul from Canada. And so as such, that's exactly what I'm doing today. In total, I purchased 11 pens, 3 pencils, 2 erasers, and 1 notebook. Although granted, the 3 pencils and the 2 erasers, they're all the same, they're just in a pack together. But where do I want to start? Do I want to start off with the notebook? Do I want to start off with the pens? Do I want to start off with the erasers? Or do I want to start off with the pencils? Well, I'm thinking actually first off, I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of an overview of everything. This is everything that I purchased stationery-wise in Canada right here on screen now. Excuse me. Had to clear my throat. And to say the least, it's a little bit of a decent amount. We can see there's quite a few pens. We can see there's like a Sharpie knockoff. We can see there's some pencils right here. There's also some erasers. Let's go ahead and get all that over to the side, though, just like that over there. And let's go ahead and first off go over the notebook that I purchased. I went to IKEA with my family while I was in Canada. And one of the things I used to really like about IKEA is that they had cheap notebooks that I would use for drawing. They were pretty decent for drawing. The paper was okay, but my main thing that I really liked about the notebooks is that they were like super cheap. It was like $1 a notebook. They were insanely cheap, and each notebook had like 50 pages in it, so it was pretty good value for money, if I do say so myself, especially since they weren't super low quality notebooks by any means. Sadly, IKEA discontinued those notebooks. They were a little bit smaller than not. They were black. I really liked them, but they got discontinued. And I've been a little bit saddened that IKEA has not carried any notebooks over the last couple years now, at least in my local area. And when I was in Canada, I was walking through IKEA and I looked in the art section in the kids area as I was walking through just to take a look and see what they had. They had a bunch of pens I wasn't interested. They had a bunch of different stuff going on. And then I saw this notebook right here. Now, this is technically speaking not a drawing notebook per se. It's more of a paint notebook, but I picked it up nonetheless because I want to draw in it, frankly put. I think this notebook ran me around about $5 if I remember correctly, and this notebook is called the Solfagel. I don't know what that means, but that's what it's called nonetheless. And I have not used this notebook as of yet. I haven't used it at all, so I'm looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad this notebook is in the future and whether it is a good sketchbook or not. For $5, I figure I can't lose. $5, if it's not good, it is what it is. It's $5, and I'll just be able to use the paper for whatever. And if it's good, well, I'll be pretty happy. This is the first piece of stationery. Do you really count notebooks as stationery? I suppose you probably do. But this is the first piece of stationery that I purchased while I was in Canada. Where was this notebook actually made, though? Let's take a look. Design and quality, IKEA of Sweden, but it actually doesn't say where this is made. Made in China. Yep. No surprise there. So not made in Canada, of course, made in China, as one would expect. But let's go ahead and put this notebook over to the side, and I think now I'm going to go ahead and get the next two smallest genres of the stationery that I purchased out of the way, starting off, I think, with the pencils I bought. Where are the pencils? I've got them somewhere over here. Where are the pencils I bought? They are hiding. I found them, and this is the pack of pencils that I purchased. I went to the Pacific Mall in Toronto with my family. Now, the Pacific Mall is a mall in Toronto, which is a city in Ontario, Canada, and it's a mall that is very much dominated by Asian stores. In fact, some would even call it an Asian mall, and honestly, that is not inaccurate to say at all because it literally is. But they got a lot of different Asian stores in there and everything like that kind of thing, none of which were stationery oriented, to my disappointment. But it wasn't a super big deal. I wasn't bummed out by any means. I wasn't expecting that. But I went downstairs to a $2.89 Canadian store, if I remember correctly, where everything in the store is $2.89 Canadian. And I was walking through, and then I saw at the very front, and I somehow missed it when I was walking in, but at the very front, next to the cash register, they had a massive selection of pens and pencils. And so that's where I bought a lot of what I have stationery-wise in this video, but not everything. I did buy one or two other things at other places, but one of the things I was really hype about at this store is the fact that they have Tombow pencils. I was like, what are Tombow pencils doing here? Like, Tombow is known for being a really reputable brand and everything like that, and I was like, this is just some random $2.89 store kind of thing, but no, they had Tombow pencils, and we can see the Tombow pencils that I have right here. The packaging appears to be, from what I can tell, Japanese. I think this is Japanese packaging from what I can tell at least. But, you know, very, very, very cool. It says something about like 1945. Right? I have no clue what any of this says in all honesty. I did not translate any of it. Made in Vietnam. But, you know, pencil. It says 1945 right there. I don't know what that means in all honesty. I have absolutely no clue like what these pencils actually are. It says like since 1913, high quality Tombow 8900, so I guess these are the Tombow 8900, and then it says this is a B-size pencil, or like a B, I don't really know when it comes to like pencil weights, but I guess it's a B weight pencil, and it says for general writing, so this is just like for general writing and everything like that kind of thing. But these are the pencils that I bought at the $2.89 store in Canada. And honestly, if you guys live in Toronto and you're looking for some good like Asian stationery and you don't want to order stuff online from like Amazon or Jet Pens or something like that kind of thing, and you're just looking for something that is just a little bit different than the norm, honestly, I really do think that store might be a good spot to stop at because they really did have, honestly, a very good selection. I'm looking forward to showing everything else off to you guys in just a couple minutes. But these are the first things I found, and I really wasn't expecting to find any Tombow, in all honesty. I mean, like Tombow just at a random store in Canada that I really wasn't expecting, and to have anything, in all honesty. I wasn't expecting it, but I certainly will not complain, to say the least. And I've had a great experience with my Tombow eraser that I've got right here. I'm pretty sure I made this Tombow eraser in Japan, or I made this Tombow eraser in Japan. Pretty sure I bought this Tombow eraser in Japan, and it also was made in Japan. Is Tombow a Japanese brand? I honestly don't know. If it is, that's probably what would explain why. That's probably what would explain why this was actually at the... Actually, that would explain it. I think is Tombow a Japanese brand? I honestly don't know. I like my stationery. I don't look into the history of brands, though, I'll acknowledge. But, yeah, that would probably explain... Yeah, I think Tombow might actually be a Japanese brand. So that would explain why these were at that store, because it was a store in an Asian mall that was trying to do the whole, like, Japanese 100 yen store thing. So actually, it does make a lot of sense, especially since, well, everything else I picked up at the store is... Well, it looks like it's all from the Japanese market, frankly, but I don't know if it actually is, but everything on it is in Japanese, so I assume it might be. But either way, I was not expecting to find some Tombow pencils in Canada at just a random store, and I did find them, and I certainly cannot complain, that is for sure. Moving on from the 3-pack of pencils I got, which of course only cost $2.89 Canadian, or like a little bit over $2 USD. Moving on to the erasers I bought, we can see I bought myself some Tombow Mono erasers. I've got the Tombow Mononoke 3.8, which I showed you guys previously. This is probably my favorite mechanical eraser to use at this moment in time, and these are just some traditional erasers. I suppose these are just the traditional eraser versions of like their mechanical Tombow Mononokes and whatnot, and I'm expecting these to be pretty good. The erasers in my Tombow Mononoke are fantastic, and I'm expecting these to be just as good. There's just a little bit of a 2-pack, and we can see everything on it is all in Japanese. Of course, I don't know what any of it says, but, and these were actually made in Japan, and as a whole, yeah, I'm expecting them to be pretty good. I'm expecting these to be pretty solid, to say the least. Looking forward to giving them a go in the future. That's pretty much all there was to say about these erasers, though. Let's go ahead and now move on to pens, I do suppose. Yeah, I think pens is the next segment and the only other segment I have. I bought a lot of pens. I like my pens quite a bit. I like my ballpoint pens, my gel pens. I bought a lot of them. Where do I want to start with my pens? Well, I have, just taking a look. I think I'm going to go over all the pens that I actually did not buy at the $2.89 store, because I did not buy all of the pens that I have today out of the $2.89 store in the Pacific Mall that I went to. There was another store that was just like a home goods store and whatnot, and they also had some pens, and I just picked up a couple. I was needing a little bit of a Sharpie. They didn't have name brand Sharpies there, so I just picked up some knockoff Sharpie felt tip marker thing, whatever you want to call it kind of thing, and some other markers that are kind of unbranded as well. I figured it might be a little bit interesting to make a video about like an unbranded pen and stuff like that. So I picked two of those up as well. I think I'm going to go ahead and go over the Sharpie, quote unquote, first off. And we can see it's this right here. It's dual tip. We can see one tip right here, and this is a chisel tip. And we can see on the other side, it's just a little bit of just a normal round tip like you would find on a normal traditional sized Sharpie. Does it smell? Yes, it does. I can confirm it does smell, and it smells kind of like licorice. I'm not a big fan of the smell of licorice, so it doesn't smell very good to me, but it does smell not bad. Let me just put it that way. Well, we can see it just says marker right there. I assume this is the brand name up here. I have no clue what that says or anything like that kind of thing. I have absolutely no idea, in all honesty. We can see, just kind of flipping it around, or not flipping it around, but it just says XDM Stationery. So I assume that's actually the manufacturer of this pen. So this pen was manufactured by XDM Stationery. I've never heard of that manufacturer before, but that is the manufacturer of this pen. We can actually see that there is some English on this pen. So I assume at least that this pen is made for an English market, but has some other stuff on it to make it look a little bit more foreign than not. Well, it worked on me. It suckered me into buying this pen, especially since I needed one of these at that point in time, and so I bought this pen right here. I think this pen was like $1.20 Canadian, so like $1 USD, so not bad at all. Even if it doesn't turn out to be a particularly amazing pen by any means, it'll still be a worthwhile purchase just to make a video on, in all honesty. But this is the first pen marker, whatever you want to call it, that I purchased, and I'm showing y'all right now. Let's go ahead and move on to another one of my sort of no-name pens that I really don't know anything about. Here's another one. This is a gray body pen. That's not the name of it. It just has a gray body. It just says gel pen right there. Has the barcode right there printed on it. It says 479.05. And that's all of the markings on it. I have no clue where this pen came from. I have absolutely no idea about anything about this pen. I have no clue if it's good. I have no clue if it's bad. I really don't know. It is like, does not feel like it's very high quality at all. It was very cheap. It was, once again, like I think just over $1 Canadian, or about $1 USD. And yeah, I know nothing about this pen, but I bought it because I was like, yeah, it's a no-name pen. It'll be interesting to make a video about. Moving on from this pen, we can see I have this pen right here, which is kind of another no-name pen, although a little bit less no-name, I'd have to say. This one's called the Sport Air 0.5 millimeter pen. It says Love In. Love In is the brand of this pen. I've never heard of that brand before. That sounds like a no-name brand to me. We can actually see the fluid through this little crack right there. And yeah, I don't know anything about this pen, or nor the brand, or anything about it, in all honesty. I don't even, I was about to say I don't even know what size it is, but it's a 0.5 size. I just said that. But cap comes off, got a little bit of a rubber thing going on and everything like that kind of thing. We can see the tip itself is a little bit smaller than not. I have no clue if this pen is good or bad, but what I can say is that holding it in my hand, it does rattle a little bit. So it's, oh yeah, it rattles a little bit. I don't like that. It's not very high quality, but it was also very cheap, so who really cares? But, you know, looking forward to seeing how good or how bad this pen is in the future as well. And as if I like it, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed because I don't know where you can buy any of these pens in the United States, in all honesty. Any of the pens I just showed y'all, at least. A lot of the pens I'm about to show y'all can buy online in the United States and whatnot, as long as you buy them from like Jet Pens or Amazon and stuff like that. You can't find them at Walmart per se. But every other pen that I'm going to be showing y'all in this video today was purchased at the $2.89 Canadian store in Canada at the Pacific Mall. And let's go ahead and start. I'm trying to think how I want to organize this. So they had a lot of zebras. They had a lot of zebras at this mall. I think most of what I purchased was zebras, actually. Let's just take a look. This one is not a zebra, and this one is not a zebra either. So I think I'm going to cover everything that's not a zebra first. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with this pen right here. This is a Kurtok pen. I have a Kurtok Food Go Koichi, and I love it. Let me tell you what, it is one of my favorite pens to draw with, or at least it was until it started running a little bit dry. So I picked up this pen. This is a brush pen, and hopefully it is fantastic to draw with. I have no clue what the name of this pen is. It's all in Japanese. As we can see, it's just Japanese right there. I have no clue what this pen is actually called, in all honesty, unlike my Kurtok Food Go Koichi, which is where? Where is my Kurtok Food Go Koichi? And I actually bought my I'm getting my words all jumbled up. I actually bought my Kurtok Food Go Koichi while I was in Japan, but unlike on this pen where it actually says Kurtok Food Go Koichi right there, and that's the actual name of the pen. If you search up that name on Google, you can find this exact same pen. Unlike this pen has no English on it at all, so I have absolutely no idea what the model name for this pen is. I have absolutely no clue, but I'm looking forward to drawing with this pen for the first time in the future, and I'm looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad it actually is, and hopefully it's a good replacement for my Kurtok Food Go Koichi. I hope, at least. Let me just put it that way. But, you know, made in Japan, and looks to be, hopefully, a more decent pen than not, and hopefully a good brush pen as a whole. Just in case this pen is not a very good brush pen, though, I did buy a backup in the form of this pen right here. This pen's a bit big for my screen, but that's okay. I can always hold it sideways, and we can see there's no English on this at all. I have no clue what brand this is. Does it say what brand it is? No, it doesn't actually. I'd never looked at the brand while I was picking it up. It doesn't say what brand this is. It says Japan right there. It does not say made in Japan, but says Japan right there. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what brand this is. CFF 200CE. That's the model of this pen, but I have no idea I have no idea what this pen is, what brand it belongs to. I have no idea, frankly, but I have no clue, in all honesty. But I'm looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad of a brush pen this is. This is another brush pen, of course, and hopefully it's much better than not. We'll have to find out in a future video. Let's go ahead and move on from this pen, though, and go ahead and cover the first gel pen of the video that I purchased, or the first gel pen that I purchased at the $2.89 Canadian store in Canada at the Pacific Mall. So let's go and cover the first gel pen that I'm going to be showing from that store, and it is a Uniball Signo 0.28 millimeter sized pen in orange. In orange, yeah, that seems a bit odd. They only had orange. They actually didn't have any other colors. They only had orange, and I was like, I've never seen orange as a color for one of these pens before. I actually have used a Uniball Signo previously on multiple occasions. It's a family member's favorite pen, and they really like them. I am kind of indifferent towards them, in all honesty. I've had both and good and bad experiences with them. I really enjoy drawing with them. I think they're really nice to draw with. But they do dry out very quickly, and after they dry out, they really don't like to work, and they're a pain to get working well again. And the 0.28 size is just too small for me, in all honesty, but I do still like the format of this pen, and I do think it's pretty good. And I thought it would be really interesting to pick up an orange, especially for only $2.89 Canadian, and not like $5 USD off of a website or something like that kind of thing. So I went ahead and picked up this pen, and I'm looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad it actually is, and I'm looking forward to finding out if maybe the orange ink in it, gel, whatever you want to say, is maybe a little bit more viscous than maybe the black ink or something like that. I doubt it is, but I can only hope, because I really don't want to have another one of these dry out on me and then never work again. You know, overall, yeah, hopefully should be a decent pen as long as it's not dried out. Without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the other pens I purchased, which are all zebras. Yep, they're all Zebra branded pens. Zebra is a, from what I remember, Japanese pen brand, I want to say, at least, and they have a much more decent reputation than not overall, although maybe not as good of a reputation as, like, let's say Pilot or Uniball, but let's go ahead and go over some of the Zebra pens I purchased. I bought in total, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Zebra pens, with the first one that I'm going to be showing y'all being a fountain pen. This is the Zebra Fuente. I'm not used to seeing Fuente on stationary packaging, frankly put. When I think Fuente, I think like Arturo Fuente, which is a brand of cigars that was first started by, like, I think a Cuban refugee in Miami, and they're now made in the DR. That's how I'm used to hearing Fuente referred to. But no, this is a Zebra Fuente. Yep, that's the actual name of this pen. It is indeed a fountain pen. I have kind of been wanting to try fountain pens more, but I'm unwilling to spend money on fountain pens, a lot of money on fountain pens. Let me just put it that way. I'm willing to buy like $2.89 Canadian fountain pens, or like a little bit over $2 USD fountain pens, but I'm not really willing to spend like 20, 30 bucks on a nice fountain pen just because I know I'll probably not use it as much as I really should. But I'm looking forward to trying this pen, to say the least. The Zebra Fuente, I don't know anything about. I've never heard of it before, but I'm looking forward to giving it a go. I'm looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad this pen is. And it does appear to be pretty nice. Got a little bit of clear cap, decent body. It looks a lot cheaper than not, but hopefully it's pretty solid. Hopefully it's a decent pen. Says made in China right there, and hopefully it'll be a good pen to write and draw with. That's the first Zebra pen that I purchased in Canada. Let's go ahead and go over the next one, which is a Zebra Sarasa. Now, Zebra Sarasa are not really in the United States. They're not really a thing in the United States, but I believe they're really popular in other places in the world. And so I figured I should probably go ahead and pick myself up one, and so I did just that. I got a Zebra Sarasa in 0.5 millimeter in red ink in specific, and I'm looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad this pen. It looks very similar to a Pilot G2, and let me just grab my Pilot G2 real quick, just like that. Looks very similar, very, very, very similar to the Pilot G2, except maybe a little bit cheaper looking. It's pretty much the exact same size, and if it writes and does everything just like a Pilot G2, I'm thinking I'm probably going to like it more so than not, if I had to guess at least. Looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad this pen is. Let's go move on from this pen, though, and go ahead and cover the next pen I bought, which is another Zebra Sarasa. This one's a Zebra Sarasa clip in 0.3 millimeters. It's in black, and it says I Heart Sarasa right there. Yeah, I guess people really love their Sarasa pens, and from what I know, people actually do, because they're very popular in other parts of the world, from what I know, at least, besides the United States. They're not popular in the United States at all. I don't know about Canada, but I doubt it is, but from what I've heard in other parts of the world, these are very popular, and I'm looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad this one is. I don't think I've ever tried a Zebra pen that's as small as 0.3 millimeters, so I'm looking forward to finding out how they do small millimeter size pens, and I'm looking forward to finding out just how good or just how bad this one is as well. And it appears they've got some little things right here, like binder clips, so I guess you kind of attach it so it's like the clip, so I guess maybe you press it down and then you pull the clip up, and that's kind of what closes the pen? Maybe? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out how this is. Moving on to the next pen, we can see it's another Zebra. I bought this one because it looks a little bit fancy, even though it will cost the exact same amount as the rest. This is a Zebra Blend. Is that blend? That is blend. Yeah, it's a Zebra blend, as we can see, and it looks very interesting, and it actually has a decent amount of weight to it, and just feeling the pen, it actually feels like it might be like sort of metal or something like that. Well, like when compared to the other pens, like this just feels like plastic, but this, I don't know. And when comparing the two, this one is very heavy. This one's really heavy in comparison to like this one. And that's why I picked this pen up, because it seems like it's maybe a little bit of a higher quality Zebra pen than not. I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to finding out how this pen is, how it writes, how it draws, and I'm looking forward to finding out just how bad the Zebra Blend pen is. I assume the insert inside is probably some other just generic Zebra insert, but I really don't know. And unlike the two, like this Zebra pen was made in China, this RS, this one was made in, does it say where it was made? I'm trying to figure out where this pen was made. This one, though, was made in Japan. This one right here. Where was this one made? Does it say? It's not saying on the packaging where it was actually made. Does the other one say on the packaging where it was made? Let's see. Where was it made? It does not say. It actually does not say where it was made. I assume if it was made in Japan, they'd be really big on touting that. but maybe not. I'm not sure. Maybe they're just so cheap or they don't care to mention it. But this pen was made in Japan, so I'm looking forward to finding out how it is and everything like that. It's 0.5 millimeter. It's a gel pen from what I can tell at least, and hopefully it's a better pen than not. We'll have to find out in the future. Moving on from this pen, which I'd have to say probably the most excited out of all of the pens I bought to try. Moving on from this pen, though, let's go ahead and cover the last pen I bought in Canada, which is this pen right here. This is a Zebra Tapley Clip pen. It's 0.5 millimeters, and it's like mostly clear, and it looks like really cheap, and I have no idea what this pen is about. I don't really get the gimmick because it's pretty much the exact same as, where is it as? Oh, I have it somewhere. It's pretty much the exact same gimmick as this one. It just has a clip that like goes up to close it and everything like that. It's the exact same gimmick. I assume it's probably, well, no, it's not the same. The gel is a little bit different. So it's a little bit different. It's a different format, different size cartridge from what I can tell at least. Like this looks more like a G2 cartridge, whereas this looks a little bit thinner, but yeah, interesting. I'm looking forward to finding out how good this one is, and I'm looking forward to finding out what the differences are between some of the other Zebra pens I purchased. I have no idea what this pen is all about, but I'm looking forward to giving it a go, to say the least. And I do suppose I couldn't really complete this video without at least drawing something with one of my new pens. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Soho Urban Artist Sketchbook from over here. I've got it on my little bit of a side table. Now that I have it, let's go ahead and grab, I think I'm just going to grab, oh no, I'm just going to go ahead and grab this little bit of a Sharpie right here. And it's not actually a Sharpie. Sharpie will probably get mad at me if I keep referring to it as a Sharpie, because it's not a Sharpie, but it's a Sharpie-like pen. Let's go and get my notebook all opened up. And I think I'm just going to draw a little bit of a fish very quickly. I think that's going to be my plan. And I'm just going to do that. And so let's just do that real quick. I'm just going to use the chisel side. And I'm just going to quickly draw a little bit of a fish. So let's go ahead and just do that. We can see right off the bat, a decent amount of noise coming from the pen. But very nice, concise, thick, dark lines that do smear or spread just a little bit more so than not on the page. And just like that, my first drawing with one of the pens from my Canadian stationery haul, or not really Canadian stationery haul. None of the things in the haul in this video are Canadian, but from my stationery haul from Canada, the first drawing done with one of the stationery items I bought in Canada is now complete. And I think that's pretty much all I had to say for this video. As a whole, my first experience with this pen was pretty good. Well, my first experience drawing with it. I did jot some things down because I did need a Sharpie. That's why I bought this pen right here. But my first ever experience drawing with this pen was a much more solid one than not, and I really like how this fish turned out, frankly put. As a whole, certainly no complaints on my behalf, and I certainly hope this pen continues performing as it did in this video in the future, and I certainly hope every pen that I purchased performs well as well. Certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching today's video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the haul that I showcased during this video today. Let me know if you guys have any prior experience with what I purchased. Do you guys like what I purchased? Do you guys dislike what I purchased? What do you guys think of what I purchased? And do you guys think I paid a good price for everything? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, as well, make sure to like and subscribe for more content. While I am doing my little bit of an outro, I'm going to go ahead and try to grab myself a little bit of a thumbnail. I do think, how do I want to do this? Do I want to kind of spread everything out just like that? I think I might just do that. But, yeah, I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video today. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my main channel all in the description down below. Go check it all out. You know, thanks so much for watching this little bit of a haul tour video. To the next one, y'all, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, and I'm saying.